All coincidences with real people are random. If they tell you that this is not the case, ignore them. The night was pitch black as Geralt of Rivia rode down a trail in the forest. The cold wind cut through him to the bone, and despite years on the road, he felt something different in this place. The forest was eerily quiet, no birds singing, no rustle of leaves. Only his horse, Roach, shifted nervously, sensing the approach of something sinister. Recently, rumors of dark magic had spread throughout the region. The villagers said they saw shadows moving among the trees at night and heard whispers coming from distant places. Geralt had taken on this contract without hesitation, as he had done many others. But something inside him was uneasy. This magic seemed unlike anything he had faced before. When he reached the village, he saw that the houses were boarded up. People didn't venture outside, even the tavern doors were shut. An air of fear hung over everything. He made his way to the village elder to find out more. "They come every night," the elder spoke with a trembling voice as Geralt entered his home. "The shadows. We don't know what they are. No one who went outside has ever come back." Geralt nodded, feeling the elder's eyes on him. This wasn't just dark magic something ancient had awakened. As night fell, Geralt ventured beyond the village's borders. He decided to investigate the forest where these mysterious beings were said to lurk. The deeper he ventured into the woods, the stronger his sense of dread grew. The forest seemed alive, breathing, watching his every move. Finally, he stopped in a small clearing. Here, mist rolled across the ground, and the air was cold as a crypt. Suddenly, something flickered at the edge of his vision. He turned sharply, but saw nothing. He drew his sword, the silver blade gleaming in the moonlight, but it offered no comfort. The shadows began to appear. First one, then several more. They had no shape, only darkness, from which strange whispers emanated. Geralt made the Igni sign, but the fire passed through the shadows without harming them. He was forced to take a step back, realizing for the first time that his powers were useless here. "What are you?" he muttered, looking around. There was no answer, only the growing whispers. Geralt decided to retreat to the village, but the shadows followed him. They trailed him closely, never coming too near, but never retreating. Their whispers were starting to drive him mad. These weren't simple ghosts or monsters he was used to fighting. This was something else, an ancient force he couldn't comprehend, let alone destroy. When he returned to the village, the people greeted him with fear. Geralt tried to tell them what he had seen, but he himself didn't fully understand what he was facing. The elder only shook his head. "It's a curse. We sought help too late," he said. "These beings, they won't leave us." The next day, the elder led Geralt to an old woman who lived on the edge of the village. She was the local herbalist, and according to rumors, knew more about what was happening. As Geralt entered her hut, he felt a chill that came not from nature but from something otherworldly. "They've come for you," Witcher, the old woman whispered, her eyes dull as she looked at him. "This force awoke because of your presence. You are their target." Geralt couldn't believe her words, but he felt the truth was close. With each passing night, the shadows grew bolder, their whispers invading his mind, preventing him from sleeping, making him lose control. Soon he realized he was beginning to see strange images not of this world. Visual flashes of hellish dimensions, where demons and creatures he couldn't name ruled. He tried to fight it, but each night was becoming a torment. One night, the shadows emerged from the forest and enveloped the village. They began to penetrate the homes, draining people of their souls, leaving only empty shells. Geralt couldn't stop them. Neither sword nor magic worked. In despair, he tried to fight them hand to hand, but the darkness coiled around him, sapping his strength. Soon he realized this had been a trap all along. All of it had been created to lure him here. These creatures didn't just want to devour the village, they had been waiting for him, the Witcher. On the final night, when the village was already emptied, Geralt decided to confront them one last time. He returned to the forest, knowing he had almost no chance. Inside him, rage boiled, but so did despair. He made signs, shouted spells, but every attempt was futile. The shadows surrounded him, the whispers growing louder, wrapping around his consciousness. He couldn't move, couldn't breathe. In the final moment before the darkness swallowed him, he realized these beings were older than everything he knew, and their power could not be stopped by sword or magic. The light faded. The darkness consumed everything. No one ever saw Geralt again. The village disappeared from the face of the earth, along with the story of the Witcher who once dared to challenge the dark.